Hey everyone, I'm Natalie Bensavanga.
And I'm Leandra Mira, and this is Heating Up.
That's right, this is the show that explores the intersection between the foods that we love to make and the conversations that we need to be having around social justice and climate change.
So sit back and relax while we make comfort foods that are good for us and good for the planet.
Okay, I'm seeing some colors in front of me today. I'm actually really glad I wore this shirt because I didn't realize we were going to be making this style of food. I'm so excited. I know. So tell me, what are we doing here today?
So today we are going to be making a Cuban burrito bowl, which is inspired by my mother's favorite foods. So I sort of came to this recipe from what my mom and I normally eat, but I also asked her what food she ate while she was growing up. So I was like, do you eat cucumber? And she was like, yes, I ate so much cucumber.
And this was in Cuba?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was asking her, did you guys eat avocado? And she was like, yes, I ate so much avocado.
That's why her skin is so beautiful. And
Don't
yours
even
is
get me
too.
started.
I know, it's
yes.
ridiculous.
But so I asked her what vegetables she actually ate growing up, and I made this recipe for this bowl sort of based on what we normally eat.
Okay.
I will say, when we're eating Cuban food at home, it doesn't look this pretty. We don't plate it this way.
Nobody plates food like this at home. Let's be real. This is TV magic, YouTube magic happening right now.
Yeah, we pretty much have things like cooking on the stove. So actually, if you see her in the background, she's making some tostones.
I love that your mom is here, by the way.
Yeah.
It's giving me like mom envy. If my mom watches this, by the way, she's gonna be like, and why wasn't I invited to the show? I can already hear it. We're going to have to build her in somehow. This is going to be bad. I'm starting to sweat. It's fine.
I even told you a couple days ago, she's very excited because, again, like I was asking her, what food do you eat? Because I wanted to make a recipe that was something that was like what I ate when I was growing up.
So this is like comfort food to you guys, right? To
Very
your family.
much so. When you said comfort food, this is what I thought of. That's pretty much it. And then we're also going to be adding the beautiful fried plantains, which are a cousin.
And those are the tostones?
Tostones.
Okay.
So that's what they're called in
Nice.
Cuba.
That sounds so pretty. I like that.
Pretty much it's just like plantain
Tostones.
chip. To make tostones, you want to get them when they're green and unripe and hard. And then you cut them. You, of course, unpeel them. You cut them. You put them in the oil. And you fry them, and then it's really funny, you smash them. You take out all your anger onto them, and then you salt them, and they're crunchy and delicious.
Yum!
And,
okay,
oh
my mouth's
gosh,
watering, so let's do this.
So let's get started. So now we are going to make the Arroz Congri, which, like I
Arroz
said...
Congri.
Arroz Congri.
Arroz Congri.
So I don't really pronounce it that well, but I tried.
Sounded better than what I did.
So like I said, normally it's made with pork fat.
But we're using olive oil instead, right?
Yeah, we're using olive oil and the nice vegetable notes from sautéing them. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some olive oil, the green bell peppers. You can use any color pepper, but it's authentically made with green bell peppers.
Wonderful.
So we're going to put those, we're going to put onions, and we're going to...
I literally put onions in everything, by the way.
Yeah.
Literally.
That's pretty much every recipe.
Honestly, I'm a big fan of onions.
in Cuban food is a lot of onions, a lot of bell peppers, and a lot of cucumbers.
I would not have known that cucumbers were such a staple in Cuban cuisine. That's like so interesting to me.
Yeah, it is. And but yeah, so now we go over to the stove.
Okay.
And then once that's all sautéed, we're going to take the black beans and the rice, mix it all together, let it marinate, and then we have it's so good.
Okay, so Leandra and her mom Shalene have been very hard at work behind the scenes here, and I've just got to stand here and look pretty. So, Leandra, I am so excited to see what this dish looks like, so bring it on over. What do we got? What do we got?
Okay, so
oh my gosh.
We have...
I wish we had smell-o-vision right now. Oh my gosh, this looks amazing.
So my mom wants to be very clear that she isn't taking any credit for my dish. It is
why is that? Why is that?
Because it's not...
It's not as dry as it should be?
I mean, to say dry, it's more so like you want to cook it for long enough. I mean, we of course have time constraints because we're doing a show.
Right, right.
In real life, you want to cook it long enough where the rice really takes on the color of the black beans and it literally becomes like everything's black.
Okay.
I think it looks perfect.
I think this looks pretty good.
But
you know, moms can be moms.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah, there is that.
Right.
Okay, so what do we do?
Oh my gosh, you need to take a bite of one of these first.
These are the tostones.
It's going to be a little bit hot.
Shut the front door.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know.
It's like a really healthy kind of
Potato chip. That's what I think of
which
them.
are really my favorite things in the world. Are potato chips. Oh my gosh.
She makes the best ones. That's why I made her make them.
We had to have that taste test. So now what?
Let's plate it.
Okay.
And let me chew. But you're going to see bay leaves in here. And my mom said,
noticed that because normally you take those out before you.
My mom said in Cuba they keep them in.
I love that.
Because I asked her and she said, nope, we eat everything. So
I love your mom.
I'm not going to plate it here.
Woman after my own heart.
Right. We eat anything and everything. So let's move this hot pot.
Yeah, be careful too. Okay.
We're done with this guy.
All right, I need to stop eating this because we're on camera.
Right, but it's so
they
good.
are so good. Okay.
So we're going to take some nice leafy greens.
And you could use any kind of leafy green, right?
Of course.
Okay. You
She
could
said
use arugula, kale, romaine, whatever you fancy.
I chose lettuce because she said she ate lettuce when she was little.
Keep
and
it
of
authentic.
Course, I wanted to make it authentic and sort of have like an homage to mi madre.
I love that word. Oh.
But yeah, so you can pretty much, of course, at home, I personalize it to whatever I have at home.
Right, of course.
It's a really nice dish because it's literally like, it's a burrito bowl.
Yeah.
But this is just a very specific one to what I chose today.
So what I love about avocados is they are so good for you. It's a really great source of healthy fats. And people are always like, oh, you shouldn't eat fat. Yes, you should. You should eat all the good fat. It's good for your skin. It's good for your bones. It's good for everything.
Let's get some.
You got to put some of those on there. So this is a working kitchen in the space that we're at in Millville, and some of the people that were here were saying, oh, you can leave a few of those tostones aside. We'll take care of that. So you can tell this is like the food that people want to eat. Everybody loves this. I don't blame them either. Okay, I was going to say, so this is, what I love about this is it's dressed really simply too. It's just some lime juice, and that's cilantro. And I know not everybody loves cilantro because it can taste soapy for some people, but I love it. It's super healthy. Little salt. So do I get to taste this? Am I the taste tester?
Yes.
I better be the taste tester. Okay, can I use this fork?
Doesn't this look insanely good?
This is gorgeous, first of all.
Let's take a, we have to get a shot.
Okay.
Guys, I mean, take a moment. Take this in because this
Look how pretty.
Is like...
It's like the colors of the rainbow. Everything.
I mean...
Okay, I'm really excited to try this.
Yeah, get everything in there.
Oh my God.
I have this all the time.
Oh my God. Am I officially Cuban now?
Mm-hmm.
I'm an honorary.
You're a Mira.
I'm a Mira?
You're a Mira.
Even better. Thank you so much, Leandra. This is awesome. Talk about heating up. Okay, so I like to eat this all myself, but I guess we should share it with our dinner guests. So let's get this plated for them and ready to go.
Perfect. I can't wait.
I am so excited and honored today to have a very special friend of mine, Dr. Dr Gentile, who is a medical doctor here in Pittsburgh. She actually practices out of Highland Park. She happens to be plant-based. She happens to be amazing, and we're so excited to have her to chat with us today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, ladies. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Yeah, so I have a pretty unique way that I practice medicine, and I'm proud to say it. So I was raised in the traditional model of care, in the traditional healthcare field. Went straight from med school to residency, straight to working as a primary care doc. I got boarded as a family medicine physician, so that means I do primary care and see everyone, all ages and stages. But then I realized that the way I was practicing medicine was I would sit and see patients for an hour. I didn't care about the time limits, right? I would sit and dive in, and maybe the first or second question would be, you know, what are you eating? How are you living?
Right.
What's your relationship with food? And that was out of the norm.
And it's the most important question.
Yeah, exactly. So I was realizing.
I was just thinking, I'm like, I don't think a doctor's ever asked me that. Yeah. Like, what am I eating?
But then why are they asking you, like, what's your meds list? And what are you willing to take for your next problem that comes up?
Yeah.
So I realized there's a name for the way I was practicing, and it's lifestyle medicine. It's a different field. So I sat actually for the inaugural boards as a lifestyle medicine doc the first time that it came out. Yeah, it was a really cool year. So I got boarded in family med, lifestyle med, and kind of took it from there.
So obviously when you yourself are plant-based, that doesn't mean you're expecting everyone to go plant-based, but you're looking at it from that perspective and meeting people where they are.
Right, so I see, again, every age and stage, right? Like all ages, all issues, chronic, acute. But really what it all boils down to, no matter who you are, is you still eat, you still exercise or don't, you still sleep, you still have social support, you still have risk for substance abuse and substance use. And so one way that I can intervene, especially that I really like to intervene on, is what are you eating? The way that I raise my family, the way that I eat, we feel most centered when we eat a plant-based lifestyle, but I see everybody regardless of that and help them along their journey no matter where they are. In the medical world, if we're doing our jobs right, we're talking about diet, we're talking about what people are eating. But what we do a not awesome job at is adjusting the way people eat in our recommendations to where they are and what their culture is and how they already want to eat and like to eat.
Right.
You know, so like you said, like, okay, we adjusted, we don't have it with pork fat now.
But yeah, because I don't eat it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but my mom still eats it, but now I'm like slowly opening her world to eating like more plant-based.
But if somebody came in and talked to me and they said that they were eating this, but they made it with pork fat, and I said to them, I don't want you eating that at all then. And I just want you eating kale for the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Would that make sense? You know what I mean? And that's not...
And that's so
not
discouraging too, because then people feel like they leave that space and
they
they're
shut
like,
down.
well, now I can't go from 0 to 100, so I guess I won't do anything.
Exactly. And was that even the right advice to say, don't eat the things that bring you joy, don't eat the things that, you know, your family has eaten for generation after generation and it means something to you? You know, food means something to us.
Yes.
And is such an integral part of our health because we're eating with friends, we're eating with family, and that social support is so important, especially for mental health.
100%. And I love that you brought up the mental health aspect, because there's actually a lot of foods on this plate that can support your mental health too, and can support mood as well. And so that's why what really got me hooked on eating more plant-based and then going completely plant-based was learning about what these foods can do for my body, because that helped me make that connection. And you'll notice like throughout this series that we talk about Dr. Gentile, because she's our medical consultant on the show as well, and she shares a little bit of tips and insight into like why you should eat black beans, why you should put cucumbers on your plate, plantains, you know, tomatoes. There's so many medicinal properties to these foods.
When I look at this plate, for example, I see diversity, I see color, I see all kinds of different types of plants, and I automatically think...
How smug you are. She's so smug. I love it.
It's just so right, you know, and what this does...
You're supposed to eat the rainbow.
That's so. When I talk to my patients, if nothing else, I say, if nothing else you take away from this, please just have a rainbow plate for your next meal. And when you're working on meal planning for this week, how can you make your plate just look more colorful? So maybe they thought, okay, I'm only gonna eat bell peppers, right? So that's plant-based, right? Absolutely. Why don't we add some more colors to it? And now you're full, right? I've got the avocado in there, I've got the beans, I've got my protein source, I've got this complete meal that now I'm filled up, I'm satiated, I don't feel like I'm restricted and starving. And when I think of plant diversity, I think of the gut microbiome.
Oh, okay.
Which is
this is
our love language. This is where it gets weird, everybody.
Introduced to it. I just started getting into like probiotics and kombucha and everything and fermentation. So I'm excited to hear all about what you guys are about to say. So
go for it.
As we point to our abdomen.
I know, we're like, yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, the gut microbiome, it's a sexy word, right, everybody? Like, everyone's talking about it, but it's real, and so the science is real, and let's talk about actual real science, okay?
Let's do that.
70+% of our immune system is in the gut, if we've got a gut-brain axis, if we've got, aka our second mind, in our gut, which is intestines, colon, if that's all so intertwined, then of course it's relating to what we eat and our disease processes, right? Like what we eat and our mental health. Serotonin, one of our feel-good hormones, the majority of it in our body is produced in the gut.
Yes.
So if we've got low serotonin,
I did not know that.
yeah, and so if we've got low serotonin, we've got
literally like what we talk about.
yeah, like your life, right? Why are we so into this?
Some girls discuss, you know, Hollywood or shoes. We're over here like discussing the gut biome, but literally, it's great.
And
it's
so
a real bonding experience.
If you've got low serotonin, then we give a medication called a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, aka let's boost the serotonin in your body through a medication. Trust me, world, I'm the first to say medication if you need it. Appropriate, okay, indicated. However, there are some other tools in your tool belt that you can use if you were not to go down a pharmaceutical route or if you wanted to, you know, partner up with meds for mental health issues. And one of them is what you eat. And when we've got gut bacteria that are thriving on plant diversity, they start to produce the appropriate compounds and response in the body to help that serotonin go up.
Wow. Okay.
Are you not blown away right now?
Just do it, you know, just eat that rainbow, baby.
I mean, it's interesting though, because like you were saying, Natalie, like I got into eating more plant-based because I just became really into learning about like the nutrients that I was trying to eat. And so then that was what got me into like, I should try this vegetable that I've never tried before, this fruit or whatever. And now it's like a fun thing where I'm like trying new things and just trying to put more on my plate. Like people think it's like taking away, but it's really trying more things.
It's like, what can you add?
But so definitely like this is such an interesting topic because now it's like I can get into fermenting and I can get into trying like kimchi and all these things that I would be like, ew, before. But now it's like, well, I might try it because if I like it, it's really good for me. And like, why not try it?
Why not try it? And the earlier you get into these habits, the better. But what is so fascinating that I've learned, and I'm sure you've read this too, is no matter where you are in your stage of life, and no matter what your health is, they've seen such significant improvements of people when they just start eating more plants. And to me, I think that's really heartening because somebody that might have chronic illness or just not have maybe the healthiest diet for their body, adding more things, they will see an improvement. That's cool in and of itself, you know.
More energy, like more happiness.
Yeah, I just find that amazing. And so when we're talking about like the bigger picture with plant-based foods, and we have to bring in a little bit of the big agriculture conversation because, you know, so many times I think we are fed misinformation in the media, and of course it is true, follow the money, right? So can we talk a little bit about big agriculture's impact and what you're seeing in the office?
Well, it's interesting because I don't think we were talking earlier about how this isn't siloed issues.
Right.
There is very much a parallel between what is going on in the healthcare world and what is going on in the environment, and it's all follow the money. And so if that's, you know, whether it be big pharma, big ag, the food industry, it's all misinformation that is fueled by business. And so then that's where we start to lose the sight of actual science that people have worked so hard to work on and try to, you know, get known about food, whatever it is, and how it impacts our health.
Does that frustrate you though as a doctor? Like when someone comes in
It's
and
an
says,
understatement.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess my question, what's one of the biggest big ag misconceptions that you see still to this day in your patients that has been debunked, like is a myth, is not true?
The best one is, if you're eating plants, where do you get your protein?
Oh, if I had a nickel. Like, first of all
the time, baby, all the time, it's protein, because how will you live if you aren't eating? So, okay. There's so much there, you know. I'm a parent of two littles that don't know anything different other than eating plant-based.
Right.
And they're thriving. They're okay, you know.
They're growing.
Yeah, and I think we'll come back to the milk thing, because as a parent, all you want is what's best for your kids.
Of course.
So you make every decision to try and do what's best for your children. So if all you're hearing is one thing about what they have to eat, what they have to consume, you're going to do that, right? You're not going to buck the system and do something that could potentially hurt your child.
Right. And this is not a space where we're trying to shame parents or anybody for what they think they're doing is best for their kids.
It's not even just parents, because like my brother and I, we were both in athletics when we were growing up, and we would have coaches who would like tell us, my mom could go on about this for hours, but like they would tell us to drink chocolate milk after every practice because it was really good for you over like a salad. They would tell you to drink chocolate milk. And I remember there was a girl in my school, in my grade, who she was in like dance and she was in athletics, and she would carry around a jug of chocolate milk and drink it throughout the day.
Yeah. I was jealous. Because she's a human. She's probably like, this is great.
I was jealous.
I'm supposed to do this.
I was jealous, but then as I like grew up and learned more about plant-based eating and stuff, I was like, yeah. I thought, who was paying those coaches to
well, they didn't know either, though. Like, that's the thing. Like, to your point, like this is a thing that we just keep hearing throughout media. So getting back to what you were saying about the protein, can you talk a little bit about why that's a myth? Because I know people watching are like, well, of course you need to have protein.
Absolutely.
And we know that. But can you talk about the mythology angle?
Is there protein on this plate?
There is.
Where is it?
Okay, the protein first and foremost is in our black beans. Totally. Is this like a brown rice?
It's white rice, but it turns brown with the black beans.
Cool. So if we pair up, let's say like we paired up our beans and rice together, we've got our complete protein right there. We throw in Wow. We've got our plant source here. I have to look up the nutritional value on plantains as far as protein. But the fact of the matter is we start to pair up different types of plants and we form complete protein sources. And that's what I think people don't realize. Like when we start to hit that legumes category, that's where the money's at. So if we start to get into our lentils, chickpeas, our split peas, beans,
all the best.
Yeah, all the good ones. Then we've got our protein sources right there. And then we get into our nuts and seeds as well,
seeds, yeah.
So there are absolutely ways to get protein out of the plant source. And I think we also have to realize we're in a culture that is protein obsessed.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're bringing this up. It's like we're not working outside for 20 hours
exactly.
a day. Most of us are, a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us have sedentary jobs for the most part. Even you as a doctor, you're not you're in an office space, you're, you know, doing limited physical work all day. It's more mental, right? So in this new world, this idea that I think you need this certain amount of protein and then to say that you can't get it from plants is problematic in and of itself.
Yes, it's doing a disservice. It's interesting how we have this corresponding push for protein intake and obsession as our society has gotten more and more sedentary.
Isn't that
so
wild?
How does that add up? I mean, how's that helpful? There is no room in this world to be boiling things down to a macronutrient being the be-all, end-all, or the thing that needs to be completely eliminated in our life.
I also think that it's very... I mean, this of course is because we are buying our food from people who want to be making money at the end of the day over anything. But like, it's very weird how the thing that isn't being told is like, what is your stomach telling you to eat? Like from the time that you're little, what is your body asking you for? Because like, there's mornings where I wake up and I want oatmeal, I want a carb, I want something to like give me that like sugar or whatever. And then there's mornings where I wake up and I want tofu and I want protein and I want something to like satiate me. And so simply listening to your body is like wrong now, and it's like, no, for every meal you have to put a protein powder and you need to mix protein powder into your oatmeal, and like Instagram is just the worst place to go for any advice on like what you should be eating. But it's just odd that it's like our food and our lifestyles are like trends that come and go. And if you look at the 80s or the 90s, doctors could sit here and talk about sort of what you're talking about, but like the against fats, like avocado was like the worst thing to eat ever in the 90s or 80s, I think, during the whole anti-fats and oils thing. And so,
I'm still trying to convince my husband it's okay to eat fat.
Really?
Oh.
That's crazy.
Oh man, he's gonna get mad because I'm putting this out there, but it's the truth. And tell him he's allowed to eat fat.
Eat that fat.
See?
Do it.
Isn't it really good for your brain?
Yeah, well, we need all these macronutrients for a reason,
so
right?
Exactly,
So we need all of them.
Exactly, so just listen to your body and eat what your body's asking you for. But I guess going back to like industry, like in what other ways does it make your job as a doctor hard when like you're trying to treat people who are like almost like stubborn or like resistant to the treatment because of the fact that they've been like, since they were in the womb, they've been hearing eat this and that, don't eat that.
Right.
Like, do this, don't do that. Like,
and then that flips on its head the next week. The thing that's horrible this week is the thing that you need to have next week. And I think we do a lot. And I think a lot of this boils down to distrust. We have a distrust of, in my world, it's a distrust of the healthcare industry. And a distrust of the profession of physicians in general, I think is really what it's come down to. And when medicine is being run in such a way that business is who's leading us to practice medicine, insurance companies who have never seen a patient in their life are telling us how to practice medicine and how to see patients and what to do, therein lies the issue.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, what else can we trust? Because then I'm not practicing then in a realm that even supports my ability to use my medical knowledge. I'm just churning and burning patients through.
So it's sort of like, and I was thinking about this after our conversation the other day, but sort of like people are losing trust in doctors, but it's because they've lost trust in the pharmaceutical industry and like the healthcare industry. But the person that is that face that they see when they're getting their checkup is their doctor.
Right.
So then they lose that trust because they're like, I'm tired of being pushed medications that I don't need or don't make me feel good. I'm tired, and they don't make me feel good because they're ruining my gut microbiome, or I'm tired of like coming in and being misdiagnosed or waiting hours for an 8-minute like appointment. So it sort of sounds like it's, again, just the same way as the environmental crisis. It's like industry is pushing it, and then we're dealing with this fallout of like trying to gain trust and trying to have conversations, and we just can't because people have become so discouraged for like trusting other people because industry is just...
So let's move into solutions then. So from your perspective, as we wrap this up, and we literally could talk to you, I think, for 100 hours and still find more to talk about, but as we wrap this up, what are some solutions that people can take in their own homes, and also from your perspective with going to visit their doctors, or what do you suggest?
So first of all, you can make a difference plate by plate. And so if we can incorporate more plants, incorporate more rainbows into whatever you already enjoy eating, that's a beautiful start. And that already has implications for your health and chronic disease risk reduction. And then on a grander scale, you need to expect more. So we can't be going to quick fixes. We can't be going to, snake oil salesman type of things that we've talked about before as well. We have to expect more of the healthcare system and trust in physicians who know what they're talking about and have been taught to do so. The thing is, they're handcuffed right now. So the traditional model, they're handcuffed right now, and understand that if you only have 7 minutes with a patient, you're not going to get anywhere. Like, it's going to be really hard to move that needle. So we need to do things on our own plates, do things in our own worlds, but we need to start having the conversations and asking the questions of the bigger industries. Why is it like this, and when is it going to change?
So what can we do from home, in your mind, to like resist the system of like fighting back against industry? Let's hear it.
Yeah, well,
what do you think?
I think we all have different things that we're capable of doing, right? Like, so in my world, what I did is I left the industry, so I just left that realm and practiced medicine in a very different way that allows me to say no to those types of constraints. But I think person to person, what you can do is your buying has power.
Yeah.
Where you eat has power, and what you eat. So speaking through that, I think that's a great place to start too.
I think that's all awesome. Natalie, we so appreciate you on so many levels. Thank you so much for enjoying this meal with us, for having this conversation. And you guys, if you want to learn more about her, we're going to put up her information at the end here. So be sure to check her out online. And thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh, bye.
I'm gonna dive in.
Bye.